Hello, I'm Ryan Ackelsberg, and I'm here with 33rd President of the United States, Harry S. Truman.
It's great to be here, Ryan.
All right, well, let's get right into it. We'll start at the beginning. Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Missouri in 1884 and worked on my family farm for a while. Actually, funny story, my parents didn't know what to name me for my middle name, but they had it narrowed down to two choices, both starting with S. So they just gave me the middle initial S. I actually don't have a middle name. Anyway, I did well in school, and by age 14 I had read every single book in the Independence Public Library, and I read the Bible 3 times.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, well, after schooling, I worked in World War II as an artillery battery commander in France. When I came back, I married my high school sweetheart, and we opened a men's haberdashery, but within a few years it went bankrupt.
And what year did you get into politics?
Well, it was 1922 when I got into politics and the Democratic Party. I was elected a judge of Jackson County Court, and then in 1934, I became a senator.
And how did you arrive at the presidency?
Well, I was vice president under FDR for only 82 days before he died and I became the president on April 12, 1945.
Now, I'm assuming that coming into the presidency so early and during wartime isn't exactly easy.
Yeah, it was a bit difficult. In fact, the Manhattan Project, which began in 1942, was completely unknown to me until I became president. I also had practically no foreign policy experience, which is pretty much necessary, especially during wartime.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it seemed like the war...
Oh, and the war. Japan just showed no signs of letting up, so I ended up ordering the A bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Over 200,000 people died during that. And Japan surrendered in August and World War II ended.
So you basically single-handedly ended the war.
Well, not really. I mean, well, not...
Whatever, just take credit for it. Anyway, what did you contribute to the country after the war?
Well, I developed what people refer to as the Fair Deal, which mostly consists of my 21-point program.
And what did that program consist of?
Well, the biggest points were the expansion of the Social Security system and the raising of minimum wage to 75 cents and public housing programs. I also tried to get through a national health insurance program and an aid to education program, but neither made it through Congress. Then in 1948, I put through an executive order to desegregate the military.
And then you were elected president again for a second term, right?
Yeah, and even I was surprised. I thought I would lose against Dewey, but I didn't. My second term didn't go so well. I led us into the Korea War, where we technically got nowhere, and it showed. I mean, in 1951, my approval rating was down to 23%, one of the lowest in history. Obviously due to the Korean War, but still largely due to the press. I've said in past interviews that it's customary for the press to rough up the president, and that was just as true during my presidency.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Anyway, that's all the time we have. Our guest today was Harry S. Truman, and I'd like to thank him for coming on the show. See you next week.